So I don't normally skate with any lines or grip tape markings on my board, but for the sake of explaining this, I'm gonna make these couple of marks right here, just straight down the middle, straight down the middle. All right, so I'm on my board, I'm about to bust a kickflip. First thing I do is I set my front foot. I wiggle those toes in a bit, really work it into that grip. Point it at about a 45-degree angle, right below the bolts. 45 degrees so that as I roll my foot, the direction it's facing goes towards that corner. Kind of like if I were to roll it forward towards the nose to ollie, but instead it's turned this way. Then I set the back foot right on the tip of the tail in the middle. And so the reason for these lines is that you're on your toes, and even though the foot is on this edge of the board, there's no weight on anything but the toes. So really, as the trick is being performed, there's only weight right in these two spots, right in line with each other, keeping the board balanced. You want it balanced, you don't want it pushed on either side as the trick is happening. Now, this line down the middle is where my center of gravity is. My head is basically right over the middle of the board. And since that's much closer to the front foot, it feels like most of my weight's over my front foot. And the back foot's kind of just there, getting ready to do its part. I'm basically in the same setup like I would to ollie, except for the front foot. That's the only difference. Now I'm about to begin my descent to spring up and make this flip happen. As I'm about to drop down, keeping both feet in unison, there's a bit of a little let go of my weight to really hop down. Kind of like you're trying to hop on a trampoline. You go a little weightless and push down to spring up. My eyes are looking at that corner because I'm jumping towards that corner. As I'm rolling my foot, I'm jumping towards and through that corner, flicking off it. Go down, and as I'm springing up, I'm curling this foot and I'm popping away from the direction I'm coming from. Even if I'm standing still, doing a standstill kickflip, I'm popping that way. Not popping down towards the ground, but kind of like a 45-degree angle down and away. Down, springing up while popping away, curling the foot. And this right here is the crucial moment that's going to decide this kickflip. And if you do it right, the trick is basically already done by the time you start to bring your feet up. See, the kickflip really is just an ollie with a flip in the middle, you know? I'm really looking at that corner that I'm flipping through, and I'm jumping towards it. While you're popping away, you're pulling the board towards the foot that is also reaching the corner. And in this moment, there's tension built up. And off that pop, if it meets the corner at that exact moment and flips off, and the back foot lets go, board's just gonna spring right up. And your back foot's just leaving and coming up, meets the board, puts it down. Now, way easier said than done. It takes a lot of practice because both feet have to be in sync, doing the right thing at the right time. And you can only really think of one part at a time. You can't really control both feet and how they work. So what you got to do is you got to take steps towards getting it. You got to work on getting that flip while leaving the back foot down maybe. But really, you want to get that flip of the board and leave your front foot down so that you can get in the habit of bringing the back foot up and catching the board and stopping it with the back foot, because that's the way it's done. Beginners trying this trick for the first time always want to set their foot far back on the board which makes sense, especially if you're a little kid. Your feet closer together makes you feel like you're gonna get a lot more power. Flick it harder, get that board to flip over. But the thing is, with your foot lower, your front foot has to travel a much further distance to the nose, while this still only has to pop that far, so the timing is tough with your foot lower. If you're not used to flipping your board at all, like you haven't even started the process, there's nothing wrong with starting with your front foot low towards the middle of the board and trying to just get it to flip over. You got to start the process somehow, but I would recommend gradually moving your front foot up. Once you're starting to get it to flip over, you want to get that front foot right below the bolts so that it only has to travel a couple inches right to that corner and flick off. It's not really like you need to lift and carry the board so much. I mean, obviously, if you want to do a giant kickflip, all the pros recommend you like lag it up towards the nose and the board's all the way up here, and then you flip off the nose and it bones out. But don't even try that. Just, you want it to snap. Both feet, same time, and it gets this snap effect. It's like a rubber band, and the board is just perfectly balanced, and both points hit at the same time, and it carries its way up. And there's no better feeling than a nice snappy kickflip coming and meeting your feet. Alrighty, so to sum it all up, I set my feet with my shoulders square to the board, basically meaning my shoulders are in line with the board. I focus my weight onto my toes and I jump laterally towards the corner of the nose. Both feet going in opposite directions at the same time, basically using the back foot to bring the nose to my front foot that is also traveling towards it. Once I feel that snap, I bring both feet up and I catch it and I stomp it down. And so for anyone out there trying to learn kickflips, I would say it's important to have a good ollie. You should be able to get up and onto curbs pretty consistently and have control over it. The better your ollie is and the more it gets ingrained into your head, it's just going to translate that form over to your kickflip and lead you to have a better kickflip. I know a lot of beginners, they get their first ollie off the ground and they want to jump straight into trying kickflips. And you know what? You got your first ollie, you're excited, you should go for a couple. This is skateboarding. You know, there's no rules, do it. But at the same time, if it's not working for you, you want to go back to ollieing and just doing the basics and whatever feels right. If you sit there all day trying kickflips when your ollie isn't strong yet, it might lead you to doing kick down flips or basically whatever it takes to get the board to flip over. And this is not what you want. This is not going to help you take your kickflip up onto things or into tricks, and it's just going to lead to bad habits. It's like if the ollie was a Pokemon, the kickflip would basically be the evolution of that Pokemon. And if you want to catch that kickflip, the best way to go about it is strengthening your ollie until it evolves into that kickflip. But anyway, thank you for watching. I really hope I gave you some useful information in this video. I love the kickflip. It's my favorite trick, and it's one that didn't come too easy for me. It took me well over a year of skating every day to get this trick. I just couldn't wrap my head around getting my feet back up after flipping it over the board and putting it down. But the way I was looking at the trick was ollieing and then flipping, when really it's all one fluid motion. The kickflip is just a different form of ollieing. It's not two parts. It's just one fluid motion. And the last thing is just visualizing and really being able to see yourself doing it. You need to build that confidence, and it really just comes from putting in the work, practicing, and one day it'll click for you. For me, I remember looking down at my board, and before attempting it, I actually just saw it happening for the first time, and I flicked it, popped it, put it down, and it was the best feeling I've ever had in skateboarding. It's really the high I've been chasing ever since. So, kickflips, they feel amazing, and everybody should go out and learn them.